Fix the restore point. Yeah. Let's see. What do we got for the... Let's just pull this up. How do we want to do this? It's probably be... It might be in the main script. Let's see in the structure side of things. Probably need to wait before doing that. Because right now, what happens is we're using run spaces, and things are running asynchronous or parallel, basically, to where nothing is held up by a task. And that needs to be held up for the restore point, just in case some tweaks are done before the restore point hits. So let's look at the function. Let's go restore. See where that is. So this is this tweak. Essential tweaks restore point. Let's put that in. This is the compiled one. The presets right here, the tweaks. So if we look at this preset. So on the desktop tweaks, how am I gonna change that around? It's being referenced. This is just a preset for the recommended settings. And this isn't getting called. Maybe I move it up in the tweaks JSON file. I don't know if that'll quite do it, but we can try it just to see. And this is O&O shut up. This is debloat. Central tweaks OO. Central tweaks debloat. This is miscellaneous. Let's just try and put it up here. I don't think this is going to necessarily reorganize where it's calling it from, but it might. Yeah, I gave up on... I'm trying to optimize Windows. The product is literally made to be as hostile as possible to the end user in a glorified honeypot I'm forced to use to play my game library. I mean, you're not wrong. I really can't argue with that. It's probably true. At least somewhat. There's still a lot we can do from a tweak standpoint. It's just very, very cumbersome. Alrighty. Well, let's see. Let's give this a whirl. We're just changing the location of this to be at the top part. Let's see if it actually creates a restore point this time around. Actually, let's put this here. Wish the fancy zones actually worked here, but it does not work on elevated prompts. Actually, we're gonna just run it locally. Let's go compile. Oh no. Ah, poop. You know what? I'm on the wrong branch. Ah. You know what I need to learn? Rebasing. I've been meaning to rebase stuff. Let's learn a rebase. Because there's the test 802. I can rebase. Right? How do we rebase? Let's just figure that out. How to rebase. GitHub. We'll just do it live. Let's go how to. This would be a perfect example of how to do a rebase to a more regular branch. So you check out a branch. Okay. Add EDX as a remote. I don't think we need to do that. Oh, geez. Okay. Do some sort of stashing before. We could do a stash. I mean, honestly, the best way to do this is just redo the work. I understand that. But let's say this was something more complex. I would like to learn rebasing. Okay, rebase. To rebase your branch on top of the latest version of the EDX, you run this in the... So you just do a git rebase of that project. Maybe? So let's say you're here. We do a rebase. Well, we probably need to commit this first. Let's do like a lazy G commit. Oh, no, I can't even commit. I think change restore point. So we add that commit to be pushed, but instead of pushing it, we would rebase. Jeez, well, if I nuke this project, that's okay. Well, we can always restore it. So a rebase of when util / test -2023 08-02 would rebase the project using this commit, maybe? No. And I don't think... Can I push to origin? I don't think that'll... What did that do? Because this branch, I think, didn't exist. I think I killed the branch. I'm such a noob when it comes to GitHub. Swear. Okay. So now we have 3 branches. So can we rebase this one into 1802? Maybe. So let's see. Could we branch, rebase current branch? Let's try and just go this one. This will update by applying 13 commits on top of origin test 1802. Okay. I'm curious. Let's do it. Okay, that's just a tab issue. It's not that big a deal. And that's actually okay. Incoming change. Can we... Yeah, I'm learning something here. So sorry, bear with me. I feel like I'm about to destroy something. I could just do a delete, but there's got to be an easier way, right? I feel like you could just like right click this and then just say delete, but oh well. I mean, technically that should do her. So if we save that and we come back to here, okay, continue rebase. Oh gosh, this is just such a pain. I don't get rebasing yet. On this project, it's like, ugh, it's like pulling teeth because these changes are different, but they don't really matter. All right, we're gonna abort. Abort. Let's just switch this branch. Screw it. Whatever. Let's just close all tweaks. All right, we're gonna take this point. We're gonna change where that restore point happens again. Instead of rebasing, it's just a simple change. It's fine. It's fine. Totally okay. We'll toss this one up here. Save that. Interesting. Okay. It's escaping these quotes, but like, wouldn't that... Oh no, that's still going on. All right, it's fine. VS Code's just freaking out for no reason. It's an invocation script, but it looks actually proper. All right. Let's look at this. Clear. Let's do compile, right? And then let's run WinUtil. Then we're gonna go tweaks. Let's go desktop tweaks. I'm just gonna take these, run tweaks, and then what we want. I can't help on rebase. Yeah, I think the rebase would have worked just fine, except there's a couple like automated GitHub actions. So whenever I do a commit, it automatically redoes the version number. You see how we have these version numbers? This stands for 2023 0803. So even though not much has changed in the code, even if I do a brand new compile or I submit a commit or a push, it's going to go ahead and run a GitHub action that compiles this script for the date. So anytime you run my utility, you can see the last time I did a compile by looking at this version number. Like some people go version 1, version 2, but instead we just use the date for the version number. That way you know the last time this was updated. And I feel like that's the best way to do it, because if you're like, here, let me close this. Let's do an IRM of Chris Titus win IEX. The last compile and commit I did on the main branch was today, actually. Might have been this morning and I forgot about it. I thought it was actually going to be a different date, but it's not. Anywho, you guys get the idea. Yeah, rebasing is pulling straight from your commit history by applying your commits on the branch at the end again. So in the end, it will look like your commits on the branch were done later. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Alloy, because you would know better than me. But when we rebase, like I have the main right down here, the main branch. I have this 0727 one I was messing with, and then I also have the 0802 branch. So there's 3 branches. There's the main, there's this one, which is right off of the main. Now the main had some commits, and then it also has a new branch. I just wanted to take some of the new commits over here that doesn't exist on these branches and rebase it, which in my mind would grab the commits that were missing and just add it to the end of 0802. In a perfect world with a more simple project, that probably should have worked, right? That's my thought on rebasing. In practice, yeah, that would technically work. What is a good util to make an image file of a drive? I mean, DD is pretty solid. You really can't beat it for an image. The only problem with DD is it'll grab every single block of the drive. So if you got like a 1 terabyte drive and you do a DD, you're going to have a 1 terabyte file, which kind of sucks. So it just depends on what you're doing. And if you're writing an image file, you might just use cat. Funny enough. All right, so we have WinUtil. Now we're gonna run our this. We want to see the tweaks. We want a restore point done before anything else. So let's run this, and what I want to see is just restore in the background with, hopefully. Now we already see. Nope. All right, we'll close that. Still not running them in order, which means we got to look at how it's building the functions. Let's look at the main script, form variables. Okay, that's not much. This is mostly before it even hits tweaks or anything. All right. No, it's a start script for that. All right, how am I going to fix the order of operation here? 1 file, 1 line. Oh, debloat the debloat script. Yeah, Steven, we do it this way because of modularity. Just makes it a little easier. So on the helper script, it's writing these out by reading the JSON files. I thought by increasing its spot here, it would go ahead and write that out earlier. But do we compile this? I thought we did. Let's look. What is the order here? So we write our functions, which is fine. All right, let's look at restore. And these are just functions in here. Let's look at the actual, where it calls them from. So it's like a giant comment. This is the XAML portion, which is fine. And here is the single thing for the run space. No, okay. So let's see where this is getting called from. Should be calling this, right? And that's just, that doesn't matter. That's just the preset. Yeah, the script works on Windows 10. That's actually where it was first designed. Just added some Windows 11 functionality. It's not gonna work. Think about how to tackle that. Oops. Back here, 1 second. I'm just gonna pull this string, figure out where it's being called from. Maybe we can adjust it there. So it's grabbing this entire string, getting member note property for each object, and then it's doing registry scheduled task service. Then it does the registry keys first. No, it's okay. So that's around line 460, and then if we look back at the restore, essential tweaks, RP. That's invoke script, so it's only going to run when it hits invoke script on that line around 460. Okay. So looking back at 460, it's coming through, grabbing it all. These things are here. Where is invoke script happening? Yeah, I made a script, a video about Clonezilla. Clonezilla is great for backup. Here, I'll grab it for y'all. If you want Clonezilla. Maybe it's just clone any PC or something. Yeah, that sounds right. Clonezilla video. Bam. Alright, let me reload this. Let's go ahead and trash this branch. So if sync config ps items invoke script, invoke WinUtil feature install. Okay, let's see what we got. So I need this to run before anything else. Or invoke WinUtil script. I'm blessed. Sometimes things get so big you're just like, XAML file is not that big. I think it's like 1,000 lines maybe. No, not even. It's like 580. 580 lines on the XAML. So really it's moving this up. So then it wouldn't hit scheduled task, service, or registry. It would hit the script type for the tweaks first. Let's see where that's at. So that's getting written out by... Can you add an option to create a kiosk mode for the Windows tool? I just lost battle with Windows kiosk mode. Yeah, probably. Add a check for restore point tweak to start first. Yeah, we could do that. I think that's probably a little bit better. Drive image XML still around, but I don't recommend it. It's not very good, especially for live backups. Highly recommend something else. Heck, it even like commercial tools would be better for you. Yeah, like Maximum Reflect would probably be one I'd recommend these days. It's still pay to play, which is good. Not software as a service. Almost everything else has gone to software and service, which software as a service just kills it for me as a product. Are there any alternatives to System Restore? Yeah, almost everything's better than System Restore. System Restore is like a last resort, not a first resort. Windows Backup. I mean, it's not the worst. I like Windows Backup better than System Restore. And you can invoke it through PowerShell, so you can actually write some pretty complex PowerShell scripts using Windows Backup. That's not awful. I mean, if you don't want to pay any money, it's really not that bad. It's about the biggest endorsement you'll get from me on a Microsoft product. It's really not that bad, you know? I think what we'll do is actually patch this in. How do we want to modify this script? Because how this is done is tweak. No, can't use either of those. So it imports it according to, okay. Tweaks. I think what we're gonna do is remove the entire restore checkbox, create restore point, and then just say if restore point does not equal blah blah blah, run this before even hitting the tweaks side of things. And then we're gonna take it outside of the run space, so it forces it to wait before hitting run space before doing it. I think that's the best way to go about this. Looking at it, I think that's what we got to do. Let's see what old ChatGPT says. I think on this is probably the best way to go about it. Log me out. All right. Let's just say create function, PowerShell function that creates restore point if none have been done today. Kind of like that. Okay. Let's create a new function, and then we're going to just call that or invoke that function in here before doing it. We'll make it a private function. Maybe we should do, yeah. Maybe we just redo that function for, I think, best way. Yeah, I think removing all of that would be great. What are we going to call it, though? Let's create a new one. Set WinUtil restore point dot ps1 function create restore point. We're going to actually just call this set when util restore point. Oh, the caps will get me every time. All right, set when util restore point. Should be good. We're gonna write that out. Current date's actually not being used. Where's it calling these variables? Damn it. GPT 3.5, you suck. Although 4.0 I heard is getting worse, so there's that. Yeah, but the equal null for the if statement looks wrong to me. So function doesn't check if it is today's date. Okay. Copy that section. Let's look at it again. Maybe it'll get it this time. It's like, that doesn't look right. All right. Number 2. Let's see what we get. Okay. Creation date equals 0. Okay. That does make sense. Why is it declaring this value? It's not even being used. It's assigning a blank value. Okay. Not needed. So it's saying existing get restore point where object creation date equals the date of that restore point. That makes sense. All right, that's fine. Status. And let's just check that against our current way of doing it. Enable restore point drive. Probably need that. I think we can just have ChatGPT write us something for that. Let's see. Check if restore points are enabled as well, and enable for main drive if not. Getting a little more complex with this one. Check if is enabled on main drive. Let's see that. Let's copy it. Yeah, we'll see what's wrong with it. Alrighty. Get W3 logical disk where object equals C colon. Yep, that's the main drive. System restore status. Get shadow copy. It verifies that shadow copy is there. Okay, where object main drive volume name. Okay, if system restore object status, system restore is not enabled, enabling it. Okay, perfect. All right, description and then restore point. I didn't like my description on this anyway, so that's fine. I like this description far better, and modify settings. I like it. That seems like actually not a bad function. I mean, let's run it and see what it. let's not toot our horn before it's actually done though. Let's see. And like my tier list videos, yeah, I like making the tier list videos. That's me being lazy. It's like, hey, let me just give you my tier list. But hopefully people did learn something about those too. And honestly, that tier list would look different depending on wherever people are on their journey. Because yeah, I think one weird thing about online stuff that always kind of makes me go, what? Is people think that everyone needs to like agree with you. Like, I don't want people to agree with me all the time. You learn nothing by that happening. So by all means, like when people like, I think one person, when I first initially made it, I made it on stream actually. And I put Artix in the pointless tier, Artix Linux. And they're like, wait a second, that's not Arch. That's systemd free. I think it uses OpenRC instead. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't know. And I was like, all right. So that distro moved to a unique tier for me. So it's really cool that when you get some, as long as it's like civil, you know, some people are just like, hey, you're fat and ugly. Oh yeah, no, you don't need that in your life. That's the not fun interactions you have online. But I mean, there is a lot of benefit to people disagreeing with you, or especially if they give a point. If they just be like, you're stupid, well, you don't really learn anything from that. But more often than not, there's really good feedback you get. Can you make Windows 11 use 1 GB of RAM, for example? I mean, you can make Windows do pretty much whatever you want it to do. It's the question of should you? And the answer to that question is no, you shouldn't, because if you start stripping out so much of Windows, especially the system components, well, one, your updates probably won't work. Two, if they do work, they're probably going to revert all your settings that you did make to get it under that 1 gig. So, I mean, it's a fun way of like tweaking Windows, but if you're really into extreme debloat and you want a really minimal fast system, you shouldn't be using Windows. It's really that simple, because many other systems will give you that ability, especially like Linux, FreeBSD, whatever you want to go with, that you want to go with a really minimal setup, you really should be using that. If you have like a 10-year-old PC, don't install Windows on it. You ain't going to be playing games on that. And if you are, well, it's going to be a really old game and you're probably better off just using Linux anyways. So like extreme debloats on Windows, while they're fun and I love doing them, oftentimes it's kind of a pointless endeavor. when really, if that's your goal, really installing Linux would probably be better for you. But anything can be done. Like I always tell people, whatever it is you're thinking, if you want to do it on a computer, you can do it on a computer. It's just a matter of time and resources. And then is it going to pan out for you in the end? Is it worth doing? Is probably other questions you probably should ask yourself before starting it. But never think anything can't be done. Anything can be done. I've seen some pretty wild stuff. All right, I think we got this. I think we got this now. Before we do sync processes, I feel like before we invoke this run space, I feel like we should set that. We're gonna set when util restore point. All right. We're gonna call that. Just gonna run through this script, create a restore point if it hasn't already, and say it already has one. That would be cool too. So then it just always runs it before it hits the run space, and then it starts running the tweaks after. We'll remove the other one. Let's just do a test here. We'll do a test compile. Let's see what we get. Did I close? I always close that. Fired. Oh, I'd love to do this in Linux though. Only, if only. Let's do a compile. All right, now we're gonna do our tweaks. Run Windows 11 on a 486. I mean, I need to track down a 486. What was it? The DX 66 hertz megahertz series? I think that was the 486 I had. I remember being 66 megahertz. I want to say, how much memory did we have? It wasn't. It was like, I want to say like 128. No, maybe not that high. I don't remember. All right, we're not going to do the restore point. That's unchecked. We're going to just check that and run it. Your first was the SX 25 megahertz. I think mine was a compact 8 megahertz 286. Was like the first one I really got to pound around on. Now, I think my uncle had an 8086 with just floppy disks, no hard drive. And I was really young. I remember playing like this terrible Star Trek game off of a 5 1/4 floppy. That was fun. All right, so if we run tweaks, that did look like it worked. Interesting. Okay. Definitely look up QEMU Silvernight. If you want to do this on Linux, man, I did a whole video series about QEMU. It's amazing. All right, that kind of worked, but I wasn't really satisfied with it. Let's just do like oh no, shut up and like telemetry. Let's see what that does. What kind of error is that giving me? That's not working. One, it's not saying that it's enabled. Well, is it? Let's take a look. Let's see. System restore, where's that at? Actually, I think it's in sysdm. No, it's on. All right, that's a bad part of the script. GPU pass-through on Windows, on VMware or something? I don't think so, no. Hyper-V would be the only thing that would be you know, close to a hardware level that could be able to do a pass-through type thing, but I haven't seen anything. If you couldn't really do pass-through, but where there's a will away, probably like a SRIOV card, like an enterprise card, can be set up on Windows Server so you can share parts of the card and get some GPU acceleration using Windows VMs. But nobody's serious about virtualizations using Windows. That's not a thing. But if you want to tinker, like I said, have at it. SRIOV would probably be the best method for that. I think NVIDIA had like a grid type thing. I can't remember where I saw that at, but that's also another thing to explore. Very proprietary, very expensive. All right. Let's close this guy down. It kind of worked, I think. Let's open up System Restore and see if it actually creates a restore point. There'll probably already be one there. System Restore. Okay. Restore point 1. Okay, so we have these. But to erase them, I think we can just go back through sysdm. Let's go System Protection. Let's go Configure. Let's just delete all restore points. Okay, great. And now if you look at System Restore again, no restore points. Great. Okay, so they're wiped out. We'll just leave that up. Let's see. Let's do another compile. I don't think we really changed much. Let's see if there's a way to scan that on. The set utility restore point, it wasn't actually working. Here, we'll ask ChatGPT. This did not detect if system restore was on. System restore status dot put. What the hell? Where's it getting this code from? This is not enabling it. What is this camel case? Okay, there's that one. This looks okay, but that looks like what? That does not do anything. Damn it, GPT. I don't know how it passed the bar. I want to call bullshit on that. I'm just saying. I don't see how that was a thing. Let's see if it changed anything. Okay, so it did change this top 2 lines. I don't think this is gonna work. I just don't feel like this is, I just don't feel like that's it. We'll see. I'm starting to lose faith in old GPT. It feels like it's getting quite bad. Like, I mean, there's so much of this code that was just way off. That's okay. Part of the fun of learning. Because I don't know the exact code I need. Let's just go with it. All right, we're gonna go like, oh no. Let's just do these. Run tweaks. Invalid class. It did create a restore point though, but that was the code I used. That was my code. That was not even GPT code. And it did not say it created the restore point. I bet you it says it in here. Yeah, restore point created by WinUtil. Okay, cool. That's working. The catches and everything are not working here. Like status, this, no worky. Start status. Why does this suck so bad? Is there a better AI that is working better than ChatGPT? Because for coding, I gotta tell you, this, like, more often than not is like 80% wrong, 20% gives me an idea that I need to fix. Like, what? Oh, okay. Bard is better? Do it yourself then. Yeah, fair. Yeah, I have Copilot. Let's can we have Copilot write stuff? I think we can, right? Let's see what Copilot does. How do we ask Copilot? Let's get rid of ChatGPT. Ask Copilot. It's already installed in VS Code. question. I mean, surely. Okay. Bet this is a lot better. So, how do I use Copilot in VS Code? Yeah, I think we do have that. Use Copilot in VS Code. Okay, we don't have JetBrains. Is this only JetBrains? Okay. No. So, it looks like you can just create a comment. I don't think that'll work, right? No, that's maybe, what is it? Yeah, I get Copilot for free because of all the stars I got for all my public repos. So there's got to be a way for asking it questions in VS Code. Ask Copilot question in VS Code. Okay. So we already got the extension. We got it. All right, so we have that. Saying alternative suggestions. Can we just say, hey, write a function? Be kind of cool. Find all images. So I guess it just reads every comment I write. That's a little scary, but at the same time, kind of neat. Okay. Code Whisperer. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's try it instead of ChatGPT. The code above doesn't detect. Ooh, that's what I need. Copilot Chat preview. Let's get it. All right. Oh, this is neat. So we already have the Copilot. All right. Quick start video. So let's come back into here. Sorry, I'll play that again. Sorry. Get back our music. Interesting. Okay. Let's just see. Where are you? It's not in here yet. So I think the extensions... No, there's the chat extension. So it didn't show it over here though. Git lens, PowerShell, Git lens, extension, Remote Explorer. Where did it put it? Okay. Oh, you have to get on the beta wait list for it to work. Okay. Well, I have a subscription. They give all the, if you have like over 10,000 stars on GitHub, you get a free Copilot subscription. 1 active subscription, 2 accepted chat private beta. Yeah, so it should work. Oh, it's a private beta. Okay, so you have to have an active subscription, then also submit for that. Okay, so I have to be accepted. Well, crap. Gotcha. Well then, that's not going to help us today. But cool that that's not down the pipe. That's going to help a lot. Does this write code here to create, to check if system restore point was created today. Okay, so then how do we auto create this? No. Dang. I wish I knew how Copilot worked. Yeah. Some of the like non-sanctioned ones, I'm curious about. I think it was like Theo Joe that said on his Twitter he got hacked or almost hacked because he installed a whole bunch of like non-sanctioned VS Code extensions, which was kind of crazy. So you kind of got to watch the extension that hit into to that. Lataro, number 1, learn Rebase. Number 2, learn Copilot. Working on it. Working on it. That's funny. All right, well, that would be neat, but that does not work for me. Yeah, it only does partial autocomplete. That's what I found. IK is I've noticed that as well. It does a good job of like detecting your code and then like making suggestions for like the next line. Saying, hey, I see you're doing this. This is probably what you mean by the next line. More often than not, it's actually pretty good for doing a line by line. Yeah. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, hey, what is Git lens? I don't think I've been using that. Will I ever use Git lens? Probably not. Probably should go through my extensions. What am I actually using? Yeah. Theo Joe's rudimentary level stuff, but Occasionally he does throw something out there that I'm like, hey, that's pretty good. Like the whole world thing from today on the install. Totally agree. Just remember, guys, you can learn something from anybody. That's like one thing. Never think that you're just smarter than someone else. Otherwise, you're going to be the biggest idiot in the room. That's one thing I always tell people is you can learn something from every person you meet. Too often do I see really smart people end up not being able to learn or progress because they think they just know everything. And that's just a sad existence. So be cautious. Be cautious of calling someone an idiot or you can't learn from someone. You can learn something from anyone you meet. The homeless guy on the corner, you can learn something from him. It might be how to inject a needle in your arm, but you can learn something from him. Copilot /fix. Propose a fix for the bugs in the selected code. Yeah, I'm gonna look here. Let's see, what do I have installed so far? All right, I have 26 extensions installed, most from Microsoft. Gitlins, I'm not really using this. I'm sure it's a great extension, but I'm gonna go ahead and uninstall it. Let's see what else we have in here. Host a live server, live preview, probably, maybe. What else we got? Yeah, we'll leave that as is. Let's reload. Let's see. Copilot. Fix code. Oh, this is... What is that? Oh, that's... No. Oh, you can just highlight and say Copilot? What? No. Oh, that's a suggestion. Yeah, there's a lot of exceptions. I just have tab completion for my suggestions. Inline suggestions. Copilot Chat's not available yet. We got to be a part of the private beta. Fixing bad Copilot code. I think it was Primogen that also mentioned that as well, which is kind of funny. It's not a silver bullet at all, but I kind of know what good PowerShell code looks like, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's see, 8 things we thought we could do. Non-native speakers, creating dictionaries with lookup data. Oh, that's cool. So you just kind of write the comment, you start your subroutine or function, and Copilot just reads the comment and then says, here's what we think you want. That's kind of neat. Okay. Writing test is vital. Okay. Is it writing unit tests for get patterns? Maybe. Matching patterns with regular expressions. Okay. Preparing for technical interviews. I don't care about. Sending tweets. Oh my God. I don't think that's possible anymore. That's probably before the API shut down. Exiting Vim. Okay, so some of these are just trolling. GitHub Copilot Labs is a complementary extension that comes with Copilot access. The GitHub Next team developed Copilot Labs as an experimental sidebar. It helps developers translate code from one programming language to another. That sounds cool. Usable prototype. Sure, why not? Sign up. Copilot Labs. Let's get it. Oh, geez, I'm not even signed into GitHub? All right, 1 second. Okay, we got that. GitHub Copilot. Okay, this is kind of neat. Okay. Fix bug. I'm just messing around now, guys. I'm sorry, but it's just interesting to me. I'm like, okay. Test generation only supported on Java and TypeScript. Yeah, I get it. I mean, can you even call PowerShell a language? I don't think you can, but let's try and hit clean. Let's see what that does. Does not really do much there. And translate it to C code. So yeah, usually it'll just like pipe it into PowerShell. We actually, I actually have Win One Shot that I recreated everything in C# using .NET libraries. So that is actually on the books. I was actually just trying to update WinUtil, fix a couple bugs for folks. Did it do something? I don't think it did it. Nah, I don't think it did anything. existing restore points. If we could just like, I think honestly that this is neat. Maybe it'll be useful in the future. I don't think this is quite what we need right now though. Let's say, okay, so let's just say this whole part is just garbage, not working at all. So you go if status, what is it, not equal? 'Cause that's not quite right. I don't think it returned, the return status isn't 0 though from this. You know what we could do? Probably the best way, let's just test it. Write host status, and let's go ahead and close this. Yeah, so that's fine, but what I think, and let's close this. Let's do a test. Let's do a compile. When util. I'm curious. Just do like a basic tweak. I don't see anywhere in here that it would be. So this class is invalid. That doesn't exist. GPT just made some stuff up for that. System restore is not enabled. It is enabled, so it's not because the class is being invalid. Let's run it one more time here, because I'm thinking what we can do is erase these restore points and then check it one more time, and it should run through and spit out what we need. The WinUI, as I'm going to probably, for this open source project, importing WinUI 3 libraries to PowerShell. A lot of people don't realize this is not a program, it's a script. So it looks like a program and it looks like an executable, but it's really not. It's just a PowerShell script. So when it's painting this, here, let me just delete this and I'll show you what it's doing. It can pull in some basic XAML libraries, but not like anything new. Like WinUI 3 is, I don't see a way of painting it in PowerShell. So when we do like a compile and run this program, this is a PowerShell script. This whole window is just a XAML PowerShell window that's painted in real time. And when we click this, it's issuing commands through the PowerShell prompt in the background. You're just not seeing that. So when we click this, it's doing like a WPF tweaks and then going to this page. It just works really a lot differently than a lot of other programs out there because of that. The cool part is it can be completely open source. You can just see every bit of code. Nothing's obfuscated. It's just all there. The downside is you don't have access to a lot of libraries that you would if you did program it in like C#. And you can do really a lot more and make it look a lot nicer than the hacked together PowerShell GUI. Because at the end of the day, this is just PowerShell. It's funny that I can do all this in PowerShell, but yes, I get it. All right, create the restore point. This should spit out like a 0 or a 1 and tell us failed to create restore point. System restore is not enabled, enabling it. The value was blank, what the right host of that was. So it's not returning anything. Well then, PowerShell, but at what cost? I often ask myself that same question, Fisherman. Every night I go to sleep. That's why I was like, all right, we're going to keep this and we're going to use what we learned from it because so many people, thousands of people use it. We're going to learn from this. And then when I do the C# program, we can take all the things we learned and then make an actual executable that cannot be stopped by Microsoft. Because everything I do here, I'm writing new functions that are pretty nice. I don't think we're running an issue. Yeah, I definitely could, for sure. But at that point, why? Yeah, I mean, I get all the feedback I need from here, other than just to be nice. I mean, Yeah, I mean, they could just mark the exe as a virus, definitely. But I do sign all the executables and stuff. So it would be a lot harder. And since it's not running through PowerShell or scripts, it's a lot less likely to get flagged from an antivirus service, which is great. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I think you give antivirus a little too much credit. A TUI version out of the script. All right. That's funny. Now, if we look at GPT, status doesn't return a value. Still doesn't return a value down here. That, we're still using this. Let's see if we can't train GPT to not suck. Not valid. Microsoft is good at marking tools as hack tools, as they don't like people having control of their own system. Yeah. Apologies for the confusion. You were right. It's a try catch on this one. That's actually not a bad way of doing it. It still doesn't fix this down here, because this doesn't return any value. The return status is just blank. I guess I could just put null if status equals null. They would say created successfully. It's possible. Like, what do we get right here? All right, let's try that out. This one, I like that way. That's actually a rather elegant way of checking to see if restore point's there, because this will fail if it's disabled. All right. And for this, can we just put null? Status equals null. Let's see. Is that not a valid function? It should be. I've used that many times in the past. Get computer restore point. This should redeem something. Here. The positional parameter cannot be found that accepts argument 1. Okay, last. All right, let's just look up the syntax. Screw it. We'll do it the old school way. Since how are people worried about AI? They can't write one simple function. I'm just saying, it's not something you need to concern yourself with. It's not replacing your job if you have like an above a room temperature IQ. I don't see how that is even a worry of people. Let's see, last status. Let's get the last one. Like, dude, this is like the most basic thing in the world. I can't understand how it's not able to just spit it out on the first try, much less the 10th try. And I'm feeding it data. Like, hey, this isn't working. This isn't working. And it just keeps giving me bad data back. It feels like it's just gotten worse. Yeah, maybe lower level people will get a little displaced, but all right, let's see. What do we got? We got restore point as a value. We have last status. So if you go last status, I think that just gives you the last run, not necessarily was available. So this one has been run. Oh, maybe not. Okay. So with last status, it failed. So if we actually do create a proper restore point, are we sure? Are we sure that failed though? I'm not sure. No, it didn't fail. It's there. I was like, I don't know. All right. How am I going to call this in? So here's the restore point. The creation time's blank. Yeah, I think we've made GPT stupider as it's learned more from us. Take it easy, Marie. Oh, gosh. What can we do here? So this is not a valid value at all. And if we let's disable restore point and see what we get. Maybe we could call this output. So if we just get restore point, it spits this out. Now, if we disable restore point, what's the output of it? That might be a better way of checking, error checking this. It's still not great, but it's something. All right, so there's this. Let's configure it. Let's just delete it. Yep. Disable protection. Apply. Yes. Okay, so it's off. There's nothing applied. If we say get restore point, There's nothing there. The downside here is if there's ever a restore point, it's not going to work. So we do have to verify this somehow. Oh, gosh. So let's say we'll enable it with this. And now that it's enabled, we'll create our checkpoint right here. Checkpoint computer. I don't know if that's a proper one, is it? Point computer. Oh, well. That's something. Okay, there's gotta be a better way. There's gotta be another option. Restore point. Sequence number or common sector rated value. Damn, system restore is so limiting. They only have 2 parameters? Okay. No, I think what we do is we select object and then we go dive down into something like this. So for date, here we're gonna just create a whole new script, as we're gonna have to create our own at this point, which is fine. Go private. What do we have? Functions, private. We're gonna change vim set when util restore point. We weren't using vim. That's the whole problem here. I actually like those. That's fine. Existing restore points. I don't see. This will only run if there's already a restore point today. This should grab everything. Like, we're setting this twice. So we already have one today. It should go through. Go, yep. Checkpoint computer. Set that. And we're going to just verify. We'll just block this. Just toss that over here. Okay. So we're not using the status though. So yeah. Screw it. We're going to just do this. Clean this up a little bit. Bam. It will create the restore point. The whole point of this was to create it before running any tweaks. So, I mean, we're already kind of ahead of the game. I did want to change this up a bit, though, to where we really even... No, yeah, we do. It's kind of cool, the live rendering, so I could be editing in Vim. Just feel like I'm smarter when I'm editing in Vim. Vim, util, set, restore. Just go Vim. Just checking. Okay, so we got that. Okay, so that's good. Let's disable. Disable computer restore. C colon. All right. Nope. What is that command? Okay. Negative. Okay, that's not working. Delete restore points. Okay, let's grab another command. Delete system restore points. Should have just done this to start with. Relying on like ChatGPT and stuff was silly. I should know better than to click on a Microsoft article. They never give you the right answer. It's like the only thing you can count on when you do anything from Microsoft.com. PowerShell, remove all restore points. I don't think we want... maybe that is. Is it VSS? It's a CMD though. Okay. They've got a fix your pop-up game there. All right. I think you can just do delete shadows -- all. Or not -- but just - all. Yeah, delete shadows all. It should work. Here we go. Yes. Okay. So now we shouldn't have any restore points anymore. Let's run our check computer. Command cannot be run due to the following error. The services cannot be started because it is disabled. So that means our enable service that I thought was so cool did not work. Get computer restore point. out null did not function right. Okay. Fine. Maybe we just throw enable on here and just call it a day. I mean, that's pretty simple to do. Do we really need to error check it? I don't think we do. So we just do an enable. I mean, here's a hammer, here's a nail. It's not pretty, but it does work. And it will always create a new restore point, and it'll do it before everything else. So at the end of the day, it covers all the bases. I don't know. I guess I was just trying to make it a little more fancy. So be it. Let's just... I know, it's not the prettiest. Not the prettiest code you've ever seen, is it? This is what happens when you just have me write it. You know, it'll work. We don't need to do that. Right, existing restore points is there. I mean, I don't think that's gonna be a problem. All right, we go set. All right, perfect. Already says it's there. Let's do another delete. Set it again. Create our restore point. Yeah. System drive. I agree with that. Tez. I think that's actually how we did it in the tweak section. It looks something like this. Environment, system drive. So technically this should be... There are those weirdos out there that have the system drive on something other than C. So we could just paste that in here. Which would be better. Thanks for reminding me. And anything else? It's not the prettiest thing. I'm not exactly happy with it, but it does work. All right, one more time. Since we did make a change, let's run it just to make sure we're good. I should have just started doing this. I don't know why I was like pounding around trying to do the other method. That was stupid. But alas, here we are. Could have done a regex and like remove new line and done it automatically, but kind of wanted to see how it's interfacing with other parts of it too. So well, that was actually WinUtil, so that doesn't matter. I think, oh, I was editing WinUtil. Oh well, gotta do it one more time. All right, done. Why give people the option for a restore point? Let's just make it for them. So we have that. It'll be invoked when the tweaks button's pressed. It'll go ahead and enable system restore if it's not already there. It'll run and create a restore point if one doesn't already exist. And then it's going to invoke the run space to run all the tweaks. The restore point just has to take precedent before all this. And while that was the most convoluted, terrible way of programming known to man, it does at the end of the day work. Yeah, I know. So, I think we're ready for pretty much the final check. I don't know why that took me so long. It was kind of silly. I think I blame ChatGPT. If ChatGPT didn't exist, I feel like I would have got this done in like 20 minutes. But I was like, I want to do ChatGPT. I want to do Copilot. It wasn't until I was like, okay, let's just pretend like these don't exist and just do it the regular way. The old-fashioned way. It's greatness. All right, let's go to our branch here and next tier list vid AI. God, we like dog water. And then I don't know, pointless, terrible. Just make all the tier lists just awful. I honestly like. There's some. It's nice when it works. But sometimes it does give you some ideas. Like there's a lot of times ChatGPT like spit out like a function. I'm like, oh, that's a neat idea. That's wrong, but it's a neat idea. Let me expand on that or fix a few things. And then you fix it and you're like, oh, that's cool. So as I learned coding a little bit more, I mean, I kind of appreciate some of the suggestions that ChatGPT that gives me, even though it does feel like I'm wasting my time. If I just needed to get one thing done, it does feel like it is giving me unique examples. I think that's the best thing I can say about AI. It gives you unique examples that you can go off of. I need to try Bard. Yeah. We'll pull that up for next stream for sure. All right, well, let's move over to our testing branch. And compile when utils done. Let's go to the raw file because we need to test this. Let's just make sure set when util restore point. All right, great. Those look like they're there. We'll grab our raw file. Let's also check to see how our unit tests look. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I wouldn't even have said this a month ago. I wouldn't even know. I would have been like, yeah, unit test. That sounds like something someone that does stuff would say. So let's take a look. We got a green check there. And the unit tests. Did they not run in the test branch? I thought they did. Let's just check actions maybe. Yeah, here we go. We'll check our unit tests. Yeah, I think it depends on what it is. At the end of the day, it's more about just like, yes, research and find it out yourself. That's always been there for sure. You can always do that. But a lot of times, especially when you get into more niche things, it revolves around getting a book or researching and looking it up. And then like, okay, what exactly do I need out of these 100 pages? Where is this thing I need to learn? When sometimes you just want an example. You're like, hey, just give me an example of this function. And that's where AI is like amazing because it'll give you an example. The example might be wrong, but it'll give you an example that'll kind of like lead you down the right path where you're like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. And you can go from there. Uh-oh. What happened here? So that contains description. I wonder what. Oh, it doesn't have a description with it. I created a function without any documentation, so it's spitting out and saying, hey, that's wrong. I mean, it's right, though. It's okay. All right, let's create a description. Fine. When util store point, okay. Where'd that go? I need to switch to Vim. I hate this. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. Finally, got it there. This function will make a restore point. Example. Just run it. Don't need no example. All right. Oh, do I need to actually put something in the example? No. Okay. Greatness. Whatever. We're just going to commit and push. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, literally, it's a one-line code. VEJ. Code from Bard. I like that code better than anything we got today. It seems very simple and to the point. Let's see if we can't sign up for Bard. Google Bard. Try Bard. Yeah, opt in. No. Oh, that's easy. Okay. Let's add this to Bard. Toss it in bookmarks. All right, we're putting Bard next to ChatGPT. It just gives it to you, huh? So why is everyone saying GPT's better than Bard? PowerShell script to check if Windows restore point is restore is active, and if not, activate and create a restore point. Also, check if a restore point has already been created today and cancel if it has. Let's just give it an entire paragraph and see how it does. Okay. Technically, this would fail if system restore is off. So it's close. Let's see. Does it say enable anywhere? No. So it's missing the enable. So even Bard's wrong. So let's try and train it. Let's go this doesn't work if system restore is disabled. Can you enable it if it isn't? Or is? Oh, I did a double negative. All right. Enable computer restore. Checkpoint computer. I mean, that's not a bad start, but it's gonna give you an error because it's also running the checkpoint computer down here. So to me, won't it try to create 2 checkpoints if it runs when it is enabled? You are correct. The script, okay. That still didn't fix it. Because, like, this is outside of the if statement. Checkpoint, computer. Computer always runs, even if it has a restore point. I mean, whatever. It like gave up at the end there. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it does give better code, I think, than GPT. So, I mean, I'm definitely adding it to my little bookmarks. I'm determined to still use this to learn some of it, but like just knowing some top-down programming is enough for you to go, that's not right. Like, this should be inside of this. Yeah. The restore point has already been created in the last 24. Oh, wait, no. Exit. No. I was wrong. That does exit the prompt. I don't like that. It'd be pretty easy to fix it, though. So I would actually flip this on its head and then put this as like an else statement. And then if count is greater than 1, it would go ahead and, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to skin that cat, but you get the idea. It gives you basically all the code you need to make a really functional statement. So that's cool. Now, saying that, let's go to our actions and see if this thing's done. Yeah. There's our new merge. We're looking pretty. Hey, HGH, how you doing, man? All right, we got that. We got the green check mark on the main branch, of course. And on our test branch, we should have the green check mark as well. I don't know if that actually runs, but whatever. Let's go here. Let's go raw. What we're going to do is grab this. We're going to test this out just to make sure everything's gravy. You can see we're all up to date with this. Let's clear. I still need to fix my symbols on this thing. One of these days. Let's do an IRM. We're going to paste the raw file from our test branch as we're doing a test of our new tweaks. Before we do this, I forgot to do like a VSS admin change. Do you think that's still in there? Let's just delete all. All right, great. Cool. So if we go over to tweaks, we say disable telemetry, run. You can see in the background, it's creating those. Beautiful. Perfect. This is the longest fix ever. But you can see, before it did anything, it grabbed and made that restore point. And that's the big thing that we needed to happen. So then when people are going to, let's say they didn't like what the utility did and they want to restore, it's not going to restore like after 5 tweaks were done. Which is not a great restore. So, man, that was a long fix, but we got there. That's cool, though. And also, adding Bard in. A lot of fun stuff today. Yeah, that was fun, man. That was fun messing around at LTX and stuff. Well, alrighty, guys. I'm going to shut her down for the day. We've been going for almost 3 hours. This is a long stream, but I really wanted to get into more of the fixes, which we did get a lot of really good fixes today. I will probably merge this branch later tonight into the main, as I've been doing a merge almost every like 4 or 5 days, but I might leave it open for a little bit. This isn't like a super bad bug. I don't mind being on main for a little bit and see if there's anything else that pops in, but maybe later tonight I'll do it. Maybe play some Baldur's Gate later. I don't know. We'll see. I really am looking forward to Baldur's Gate. Looks amazing. So, All right, y'all. Take it easy. Have a great one. See y'all in the next one.